Honestly, I hope Andrew keeps singing because he's a great voice, especially for that band. But I understand if it doesn't because it's not like some big lucrative band. But they are, look, tying in with today.
And now, a call to action.
For all hard rock and metal fanatics.
Turn up the volume and prepare yourself to talk all things rock.
Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, that kind of stuff.
Just think heavy, Pantera, something like that.
Now raise a fist for Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk.
The meeting of the mindless.
I wonder who said that in that drop. Meeting of the mindless. I don't know where that came from. It might have been a caller. I don't recognize it as an artist.
It was definitely an artist. I'm trying to scratch my brain for who it was also, but I remember
Maybe Jericho? Could it have been Jericho?
It could have been.
The reason why I'm wondering about that is because I used to joke about that because I used to do when I used to do my FM show live in New York, we used to have all kinds of people hanging out in the studio, and I used to say that all the time. We used to call it the Metal Summit at some points where we'd all just get together and talk, or I would joke with everybody, my friends that would come in like Jericho and these people, and I'd say it's the gathering of the mindless or the meeting of the mindless.
Yeah, it's definitely
so it definitely
Jericho.
came from. There's definitely a lot of history in that terminology. Given that, my decades of doing this, it's crazy. I hear all these phrases; they trigger me in a fun way because it brings me back to some of these old shows I used to do. Anyway, how are you guys? What's happening? Happy Thursday here on Trunk Nation. Our daily get-together here on Faction Talk 103. And, of course, anytime live or on demand using the SiriusXM app. Coming off of a show yesterday with 2 back-to-back guests. Today, a show that we've done a few times, and I think an important show, and a show where we are going to spotlight and let you shout out new bands, and we'll get to that here in a second. Judging by the phones, we already have a lot of people very, very excited to do that because everybody loves to let people know about bands that they feel more people should know about. Everybody's got those passionate bands, and it's more important than ever to try to give them an opportunity to be made aware of because, as I say so often, there is such a glut of it out there. I go through the emails every once in a while that come into Eddie at eddietrunk.com, and as I said so often, there's so much spam that comes into that mailbox. Even though I've got some filters on it, it's incredible. When you put out a public email address like that, where you put it on social media, you talk about it on a radio show, just however the bots get a hold of it, the spam load is insane. But every once in a while, I'll try to go through there and try to weed through the spam and pick out a couple legit emails. And if I can, I'll answer them, but it's not very often. And there's probably some I don't ever answer because I don't ever see them, because they get lost in spam world. But I try every once in a while when I have a second. And there was an email I just responded to from a listener named Shane. And he's like, "You don't ever talk about Big Wreck. You should talk about Big Wreck. They're Miles Kennedy's favorite band. You don't talk enough about Big Wreck. You talk about a band like Jailer, but you don't talk about Big Wreck." It's like, there's so many things wrong with that email. First of all, and I did respond to Shane. First of all, it's not a competition. Secondly, bands that come up in conversation on this show are driven by the callers and me and what I'm exposed to. Today, it's going to be totally driven by the callers. Thirdly, you're totally wrong about Big Wreck. Because not only have I talked about them in the past, they've come up several times. And I just brought them up the other day because they're opening the next run of the Alter Bridge Tour. And I saw them on the summer of 99 cruise like a year or two ago and talked about seeing them. And I talked to the main guy. It's what I mean. It's like no matter what you try to do, social media, radio, whatever, there's always going to be somebody, because most people don't listen to every second of everything that you do. I understand that. But it's like, man, you can't win. So, I mentioned this band Jailer, which this guy brought up in the email, because he just spent 2 days with them in Brazil and was exposed to them there. I never said they're the second coming. But, I should have taught leaving. I didn't spend 2 days with Big Rec in Brazil. It's just life. But you see my point. You cannot win. Oh my God. That's just a tiny speck of what goes on in my world that I don't even know about. Andrew Freeman and I were having a conversation about this yesterday when he left, about, even in the business, how many people say one thing to your face and behind your back, they're shit talking you. I've been doing this for decades. I know that kind of stuff goes on. It's crazy, but it's just so funny. And speaking of Andrew, I hope you enjoyed that conversation yesterday. He was great. Always fun to hang out with him. We ended up having dinner last night as well. So we hung last night here in Vegas. And also yesterday, so, from Andrew, you got some stuff about what's going on with Last in Line. He did, Vinny did, it turned out, make it public on this show. Without knowing it, he broke the news that Andrew was out of the band when he did that interview with me. And look, I love Vinny. I love all those guys. I did a lot with Last in Line, Vivian and Jimmy, and then Phil, and then, of course, Andrew. That's a really good band. Their original material's really good. Those records are really good. So I don't know what the future of that band is. I hope they can work it out with Andrew. I don't know what's going to happen. And if they can't, I'm sure they can find a singer. But, let's be honest, the thing is built around Vivian and Vinny at this point because they're the two original Dio guys. But Andrew's a phenomenal singer. So we'll see, what they end up doing. But I don't think the vibe I'm getting is that they're going to be doing much. No, regardless if they get a new singer or anything, because again, Vivian has serious health stuff that he still deals with. And Def Leppard is more active than ever. And Vivian talked about it when he's been on this show. He's just like, I can't believe he did it for as long as he did, going from playing to stadiums to clubs for a couple hundred people. So I hope he stays with it. I hope the band continues. Honestly, I hope Andrew keeps singing because he's a great voice, especially for that band. But I understand if it doesn't because it's not like some big lucrative band. But they are, tying in with today's show, to me, they're one of my, and Last in Line's first album, I think, was about 10 years ago. So they would, their original material would definitely qualify for me as something that would be considered, really good new music. One of the better bands of the last 10 years, tying in with what we're about to do. So anyway, it was good to talk to him. And also in the show yesterday, if you missed it, John Corabi, who had one of the best lines ever when I asked him if he was still in Dead Daisies. He said something like, well, we'll see. You got to love these guys. And that's the thing with both of those guests yesterday. They're just very, very open and honest. You don't get any sort of publicist programmed PR nonsense. It's like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he's been in the Dead Daisies again for like 3-4 years. He's like, John, you going to keep doing it? Well, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. That just gives you a little insight on what the business is really like for some of these guys. So a lot of fun talking to them both. And if you missed anything, you know the deal. Go to the SiriusXM app and get caught up. And you can hear those shows in their entirety or the interviews whenever you'd like. As mentioned, today we are going to focus on new bands. I want to hear your favorite new band. Give me one, because there's going to be a ton of calls here, and we're going to get to them quickly. The criteria, again, in case you missed the ground rules when we do this, the first release from the band or the start of the band had to be within 10 years. So 2016 forward. Give me one. When you call in, if you have a specific song, you can... how's it work, Joel? They tell the screener who's doing phones today.
Yeah, John's doing phones for us today. So when you guys call in, give him the name of the band and the name of the song you want me to play a clip of.
And then Joel will try to source that song and then give everybody like 30 seconds or 20 seconds and then move on. So you get a little taste. So if you've never heard of the band, again, all you need these days is the name of the band, and that's it. Because in 2 seconds, you can search whatever, YouTube, or if it's on streaming, and find it. If you like it, check it off, save it, whatever. Favorite it, whatever you do. So again, I feel it's very, very important to do this. It's our way to, advance rock and new music, because that's what it takes. And especially with younger bands, again, you guys can feel free to call in bands as long as they're within 10 years, regardless of their ages. But the reality is it's a young person's game if you are trying to break with new music. It is just undeniable. Look, we could probably put Yungblud in this conversation. I talked a lot about Yungblud earlier this week, having seen him twice over the weekend. And, what's going on with him is insane right now. Just posted today. Another show sold out. Everything sold out. The kid is on fire. Whether you like him or not, he is on fire. And that is the best news we could have as rock fans. You can decide if you like or don't like what he's doing or his music. But if you're a rock fan, this is the best thing that has happened for rock in a long time, because like I talked about when I reviewed the show earlier this week, it is putting rock out there to young people, to older people, to men, to women, and that is great for what, and he's owning it. He's owning the rock thing. He's owning the rock mantle. If you see him, he's proudly proclaiming he is proudly rock. He's dabbled in some other stuff earlier in his career. So, who knows? That might come up today. But, it all kinds of ties in on some of the newer stuff that I've been talking about a little bit here on the show. Whether it's Jailer, whether it's Yungblud. I mean, Big Rex doesn't qualify today because they're more than 10 years old, but you get the idea. So we'll get over to the phones here in a minute. 844-686-5863 is the phone number. Let's see here. Just a few quick notes here. There's light news, so that's good, because I know we're getting a lot of people that want to call in on the band thing. The biggest news would probably be the announcement of a one-day festival event at the Merriweather Post Pavilion, which is in Columbia, Maryland. And this is the same amphitheater that hosts M3 every year. If you've been to M3 in like the last, ever for that matter, this is the same venue. Unlike M3, I'm sure there are two stages in that amphitheater. I'm sure they'll be utilizing both stages for this particular event because it's got heavy names on it. M3 recent years has just been down to one stage and most recently one day. So not sure what's going to happen there going forward, but that is amphitheater that is used, every summer for acts that come through touring. It's also significant, that amphitheater. It's a beautiful place, just in the D.C. area there. But it is also significant because it's one of the few amphitheaters in the country that is not owned by Live Nation. It is independently owned and operated, which is extremely rare. So anyway, what was announced today was an event put together by my buddy Tom Morello called Power to the People Festival. And the artists, among the many artists performing at this on October 3rd at the Merriweather Post Pavilion, will be Foo Fighters, who are headlining, Surge from System of a Down, who's been on this show, Taylor Momsen from The Pretty Reckless, who's been on this show, an appearance by Bruce Springsteen, Daryl McDaniels, DMC, Jack Black, and several others. Needless to say, you have been warned. This is a political event. So know that if you are buying tickets. It is, no matter where you land politically, just know. So you are not surprised. Like, it amazed me. I told you that story about the current Bruce Springsteen dates, that I heard some stories about some fans that went in Florida. And I know for a fact, people that went to a show in Florida and they walked out halfway through because they were unhappy with what was being said from the stage. Know what you're buying, folks. And if you're okay with it, then go ahead. If you're not, then don't. But just, whatever it is, just know what you're going into before you buy tickets to anything, and know that this is absolutely branded and marketed as a politically driven event. We'll leave it at that. October 3rd is the date. You can, probably figure out by the people that are on this, like Springsteen and Morello, where this is headed politically and what the tone of it's going to be. But that is absolutely what it is being marketed as. So some big names on this. It's interesting when you look at a band like, having Surge from System of a Down on this. It's not System of a Down, but it's Surge. If you know anything about the dynamic of that band, the guys within that band, System of a Down, are not in agreement at all politically. So that is probably why when you look at this, you're getting Surge, but you're not getting the actual full band, because the other guy's probably like, no, we're not going to do this. It's just interesting how that happens. It was yesterday, Adam Carolla got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and congratulations, Adam. I know Adam. I've been on his podcast. But he was inducted, or a speech by Jimmy Kimmel, who made a comment saying that, yes, although Adam and I are radically different politically, we are still friends, and I do love him, and that's why I'm here. So it's nice when you can see things work like that, right? When two people completely polar opposite politically can still be friends and still be civil and come together for each other. It is just amazing, some of the stuff I see every day that is head-scratching, and how divisive people can be on things. So anyway, this is what it is, and it is a politically driven event, and it's got some big names on it, and if that is of interest to you, October 3rd is the date. Again, Merriweather Post Pavilion. The other thing that jumped out at me about this was the fact that this is in the Northeast. This is in Maryland. And early October, in Maryland, in that area, part of the country, which is where I grew up, it can be hit or miss weather-wise. Now, it still should be, fairly warm, but this is an outdoor venue. So, early and then late, you could have cold, you could have wind, but, I don't know if I've ever seen anything go on in the sheds, the amphitheaters, this late in the year, but could be wrong on that. Hopefully they'll have nice weather, but I was surprised at something outdoors like that, that late in the year for the Northeast, but still could very well be a nice day. It's not like they're doing it in December. What else? Jonathan Cain did an interview with a podcast called Rock and Roll High School, and in it he mentioned that the final performance for him with Journey will indeed be that show in San Francisco in late November. Now, of course, it was just a couple weeks ago that we had Neil Schon on this show, and I asked Neil, because Neil was on to promote the extra 40 dates of Journey, and the fact that I pointed out to him, if you go listen to the interview, that last show tellingly is in San Francisco, where the history of Journey is and where they were formed. And I said to Neil, is that essentially the final Journey show? And Neil said, well, not for me. He goes, I plan to keep playing. I plan to keep doing stuff. And we know that there's been reports that Neil has copywritten variations on the Journey name, Journey Beyond and things like that. So Neil, in the interview with me, was pretty adamant that he was going to continue playing and keeping the music of Journey alive in some way. But it seems like that will likely be without Jonathan Cain, who has said that he feels that there's, Journey, I believe he said, was basically repeating themselves at this point, and that it was getting very hard to do these shows, and there's no opening act on the tour. It's a bit difficult on Arnell to keep singing this stuff. And we talked about that with Neil on the air, that they now have other people in the band singing some stuff, and there's various solos and jams, gives Arnell a break. So never a shortage of dynamic in Journey and different people having sort of different agendas and plans. And at least as it stands now, Journey with Jonathan Cain will play their final show in San Francisco, if you believe in final shows, which I don't know how anybody could anymore, at the end of November. I think the date actually was the 28th. Kim Thale from Soundgarden, his book comes out in 2 weeks. It's called A Screaming Life. It's his memoir. I reached out to Kim, see if he wanted to come on. We haven't talked to him in a while. We did a LA Invasion with him once out at the Rainbow. Looking forward to reading that book. So look forward to that. Alice Cooper was on with us last week. Alice and I mentioned that Alice has a memoir coming out. The publisher of the book and Alice has been kind enough to ask me if I would read the audiobook, which is a tremendous honor. I'm still mulling over whether I want to do it or not, because on the surface, it is a great honor to be asked, but in reality, it is a tremendous amount of work because his book is going to be very long, and it is literally like 2 weeks of your life going into a studio reading a big book into a microphone. Because, you got to read it right and pronounce the words right, and you can't really pre-read it because you're going to read the book twice. It's a lot. And with my schedule, I don't know if I can do it, and I've got to give an answer really soon. So I'm on the fence about it. I'm honored to be asked, but I want it to be good, and I want to do the right job, and I just don't know if I can commit to it. So that's another thing stressing me out. It's a wonderful problem to have, but it's like, oh man, can I really spend 5 days or 7 days reading a book into a microphone, in a studio, and get it right and do the right job with all my other stuff going on, pumping out 8 shows a week here and doing all this yapping. So we'll see. But 2 autobiographies to be looking forward to. Kim Thale from Soundgarden, who's just 2 weeks away. Alice's will be a little later in the year. And Stryper released a new song today called I'm All Right, I'm Okay. I think that's the subtitle to it. Title's actually called I'm All Right. That is the first taste of a coming new album from Stryper, which will be coming later in the year. Just had Michael Sweet on this show from the Monsters of Rock cruise. And the band Knocked Loose, who have become quite popular, have announced a co-headlining tour with an artist I'm not familiar with called Denzel Curry. The dates run September 26th in Kentucky through November 5th in Austin. I have seen Knocked Loose live. I'm not familiar with the other artist. So that's what I have for you today on this Thursday. Joel, anything that you want to jump in on?
No, there wasn't a lot going on news-wise. We're going to say happy 81st birthday to John Fogerty today.
Oh, wow. Fogerty's 81. I saw Fogerty play just a couple months ago. The guy is still crazy active, still touring, still, I don't know if he's still really making new music, but he's absolutely still touring, doing residencies here all the time in Vegas, and, putting in an hour and a half, 2-hour show. It's incredible. I mean, it's just amazing what that guy is still able to do. So happy birthday to one of the great songwriters we have as well, John Fogerty, of course, of CCR fame, 81 today. Amazing. Okay, so there you go. There's your news. Now we shift gears. Turn it over to you on the phones. Your favorite new band of the last 10 years. Give them some love. Shout them out. Let the country know about them. We'll get to your calls right after this on a new music spotlight edition of Trunk Nation. Be right back.
Do you ever have any time to take a breath and enjoy the experience?
Trunk Nation.
I'm so focused on being 100% for the gig that I don't do anything on the road.
With Eddie Trunk.
I got serious because of Eddie Trunk.
All right, we are back. Spotlighting new music, new bands, your favorite band of the last 10 years you want everybody to know about. And like I've said in the last few days, come with a band that's got a little something going on, a little bit of a story, something. Again, I'm sure that everybody has friends that have kids in bands, playing maybe the local VFW hall or whatever, just starting out playing in their hometown here and there. That's not what we're talking about. Come with something that's got, some music, some videos, maybe did a little touring. There's a little bit of a story, something like that. I think that would be the wise thing to do. We don't want bands that are like literally baby bands that have nothing going on and no history. Or no story, really, yet. But we'll see. We'll see what everybody comes up with. It's been good the last few times we've done this. Joel will keep track of all these bands that do get through, people that do get through today with bands. We will also generate a list with the names of those bands, and we'll put it on our social medias, at Eddie Trunk, at Trunk Nation SXM, on the various platforms. A reminder, even though it won't matter because people will still email me or text me, these are not my picks. They are call-in picks from people listening.
I'm updating the graphic so that there is no confusion.
Please write that, Joel. Just write, these are, however you got to do it. These are bands that were called in by listeners. Last time we did that and Joel posted that graphic, I heard from artist managers, how did you not put this band? I thought you liked our band. Dude, it's not my list. Listen to the show. Oh, like to my point when we started, no matter what the good intentions are, there's always somebody that's going to have a problem. It's always going to be spun in a way. Let's get started. Here's Steve in California. What's going on, Steve?
Hey, Eddie. Thanks. My band is called Bygone, Bygone, and I guess they're out of Boston. They just put their first album out just last December, so they're really new, and they're so good that I was afraid they might be AI or something, but they are on a real label, and they have a sound kind of like they have a lot of keyboards, so they're kind of like a UFO and a Joe Lynn Turner era rainbow kind of sound with kind of a Paul Stanley-esque vocal. So it'll be right up your alley.
Well, just to correct you there for a second, UFO had some keyboards, but not a lot of keyboards at all. I think, not to go down a UFO discussion here, but to me, UFO, more than any other hard rock band, utilized keyboards most brilliantly because it was just for shading and texture. It wasn't overbearing, but that's just, minor thing.
Yeah, I might have misstated that. I mean, I think there's probably a little more keyboards than most of those bands probably had,
well,
but it's not overpowering.
Deep Purple would be an example of a hard rock band that has way more keyboards, but utilized them more. But I get what you're saying, Steve. So out of Boston, first album just came out, and the band, again, from Steve, getting us started in California, is called Bygone. And Joel has sourced a bit of a song that Steve, you picked Shadow Rising. That's the track?
Correct, yeah.
All right, thanks, Steve. Let's hear a little bit of it. Go ahead, Joel. Is it all in that? That's kind of meaty, old school metal sort of vibe. All right, there's Steve's pick, a band called Bygone. Thank you for that, Steve. And Steve brings up an interesting point about AI. That's another thing we got to factor into all this now, right? Never anything we had to deal with before, but now all of a sudden it becomes a question of, wait a minute, is the band actually real? Do they actually exist? Did they actually write and perform these songs? That is the world we are in now in mid-2026. Here's our friend Roz in New York. Hi, Roz.
Hey, dude. What's doozin'?
How are you?
I'm good. I got a Cooley band for you. They're based in Scotland. I think the girls are like all over the place, but they're an incredible prog rock band.
Wait a minute, Roz, your band is all women?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Well, actually, there's one guy in it.
Oh, you allowed one guy in? All right.
Yeah.
All right, one
but
guy.
It's cool.
How many people are in this band total?
6.
Okay, so 5 women and one guy.
Yes.
Okay.
The guy's the bassist. His name is Bad Dog. He's a really cool guy. But the rest of the band, they're called EBB, E-B-B. It's in capitals. It actually stands for the Erin Bennett Band, but she hardly uses that, even though it's her name. But she's the lead guitarist and singer. And they're just sick. They have they're on a label called I can't pronounce his name, Boudica Records. They're, like I said, they're based from London, but they're incredible, and they play prog, and they're just insane. And they have 2 albums, a couple of EPs. They've been around for about 7 years. They just won every prog what is that? Prog magazine. They won every
Prog Power, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the best drummer, best guitarist, best new band. They're just amazing. They have
and
a
where'd you
live
say
album.
they were from?
They're based out of Scotland, but I think the girls are like from different places. Some of them are British, one is American. It's just incredible. But they're based out of Scotland, and they tour all over Europe. They haven't come to America yet, but they're just sick and incredible, and they're just the best. And I didn't know what to pick, but my favorite song is Day 19. But they have, you can go a minute into that and listen to it. They're just nuts. They're incredible, and
all right, Roz.
They're like a female Genesis. It's wonderful.
All right, cool. Thank you. We're gonna get to the song. Let people hear a little bit of them. Thank you, Roz. Appreciate it. As you can hear, Roz is in New York City, where there are always sirens going. The soundtrack of New York City behind Roz. Roz has been calling in my radio shows for decades because she listened to my shows in when I used to do them live in New York City and my FM shows and. That's always the soundtrack there. Okay, so the band is what's she? Ebb? Joel, is it Ebb?
Yes, Ebb, EBB.
Day 19, progressive band. 5 women, 1 guy. Roz allowing 1 guy in the band. As you know, Roz is always representing the women, but she's putting an asterisk in this one. She's allowing 1 male performer. Let's hear a little bit of it right now. I feel like I'm going on an acid trip or something here. On shrooms or something. Not that I've ever done either, but that's trippy. It was like a female gentle giant or something going on there. Wow, it sounded a bit way out there. But definitely proggy. So there you go. Ebb. Thank you for that, Roz. All right, we started off with a very trippy, proggy sort of band, and we had a very, what I thought was very traditional metal-sounding band in there as well. Let's go to Allie in California next up. Hi, Allie.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good, man.
Emily Brooks. The artist is Emily Brooks. She's from Los Angeles. She's getting a lot of buzz here in L.A., and she's got a new single out and an album coming soon, and she's in the studio currently with Trevor Lukather, who's Steve's son, who's a great writer and producer, and of course a great guitarist. But she's an actress, but getting a lot of buzz here. So, want to let you know.
She young?
Yep, she is young.
Okay, so just starting out. All right, so the track you wanted people to hear from Emily Brooks is called Black Cat, right?
Correct.
All right, Allie, we'll let everybody hear a little bit of Emily Brooks, a young artist. You said she was an actress, and now she's doing some music.
Yeah, absolutely. She's having some success with her music, and just recently she's been getting a lot of attention.
All right, let's check it out. Thank you, Allie. Here is Emily Brooks. Go ahead.
Back and show me how you like to run around this town of broken dreams. Can you take it just a little lead? Turn it up, give it some gasoline. I wanna feel you come alive. She's a black cat. She don't give up, goddamn. Rolling through these streets like she's on fire. She's on fire.
All right, there's a little bit of Emily Brooks, Black Cat. Trevor Lukather working with her, according to Allie, who called that in. And that band just immediately, that artist just became Roz's favorite new band. Because it's a woman. Roz, I'm messing with you. I love you. Let's go to Jose in California. Go ahead, Jose.
Hey, I'd like to plug in my solo album or solo band. It's under Jose Luis Peraza. I got the ex-TNT singer from the 80s band, from Norwegian band TNT. His name is Baol Mardot Bolsara. He's on vocals on this track and on my album. I'd like to send you a CD too, if you give me an address.
Jose, hold on. You're saying the ex-TNT singer, you're talking about Tony Harnell or somebody else?
No, it's the one who did the last album they put out. He's from Spain. His name is Bao Bardot Bulsara. And he recorded the vocals on the last TNT album, so he did the vocals on my album now.
Okay, and the band is called what? What's the name of the actual group?
It's a solo project. So it's under my name, Jose Luis Peraza, Peraza, or JLP Project, and that's what the album's under. We recorded an album in 2022, physical CD. And the song I think that I sent you guys, or you guys are going to play, From the Gallows, it's called. But if you can give me an address, I'd love to send you a physical CD.
Okay, Jose, we'll put you on hold for that, and we'll hear a little bit. Because we didn't define this in the ground rules. How do we feel about people who are actually in the bands calling in their own band to promote the band, like Jose just did? I'm not saying Jose did anything wrong. I'm just saying going forward, how do we feel about that?
Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong at all. I don't know that I love it. I'd like to see, the fan base call in, something that has other people excited about rather than I'm excited about my own music, because you should be. Rightfully so.
Right. And
so
I'm worried
that's kind of my take. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of might just turn into everybody just, right. It's not fan driven. It's self-serving, which again, I don't blame Jose or anybody, because it's so hard to get your word out there these days and stand out of the pack. So I understand it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Well, if you think about it, unfortunately, though, there's no way to police it. So even if we say don't do it, people could still do it and just say, yeah, I'm not in the band. So there's really nothing we can do about it. But, yeah, I think, and again, nothing. We didn't say this in advance, so Jose did absolutely nothing wrong, and it's happened before. But yeah, I think the preference would be it coming, because the idea is, connecting with fans. Everybody who's in a band obviously is going to, as to Joel's point, is going to say, hey, my band is great. You got to listen. But okay, Jose. So there you go. You got in there, and thanks for listening. Let's go to, and good luck with your band. Here's Andy in New York. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Ed. How you doing?
Good, Andy.
My band is Freeze the Fall from British Columbia, and Koloa, British Columbia, to be exact. They formed in 2022. They're on the 604 record label. They have 2 EPs presently out on the music streams. Now, Ed, they are a trio of teens. Quinn is 19 on guitar and lead vocals. Jonah is 17 on drums. And Aria is 17 on bass. They recently finished up a tour last month, and while on tour, they entered a Battle of the Bands contest presented by Danny Wimmer and Louder Than Life festival of his, and they won that tour.
Oh, his phone just dropped. All right, well, you got enough in there on the band. The band is called Freeze the Fall, right, Joel? Did you get log in what he was saying? You're good?
The band is Freeze the Fall, and the song he wanted is called A Rot.
Okay, yeah. His phone dropped, as you heard, but we got enough out of him there. So let's hear a little bit of this band. Go ahead. A lot of female representation early on here. Well, like 3 of the 5 we've had so far, some element of women in them, whether it's vocalists or people in the band. That's cool. That's probably in the early going here, the best thing I heard so far, just in terms of being sounding the most pro and the most produced and the most ready to go sort of thing. So, and again, I'm hearing 30-second clips or if that of this stuff. So I can't, I'm just giving you like surface of my own thoughts hearing it, but sounds good. Again, the band called Freeze the Fall. And certainly at least a female vocalist there. I don't remember what he said the rest of the makeup of the band was, but let's go to New Hampshire and say hello to the Chief.
It, but sounds good.
Chief, turn your radio down. Chief's got his radio up. Not good. We got to put him on hold. We'll come back to you. Got to have the radio down. Here's Meta in Florida. Do I have the name right?
Hey,
is it Meta?
It's actually Meta with a long E, phonetically incorrect.
Meta. Got it. Hi, Meta.
Meta. Hey, I'm calling in to give a shout out to Dazer. It's a along the line of 70s and 80s rock and roll, maybe like Firehouse, Skid Row influences. They just dropped a new album on May 6th called Do or Die. They're a young band. They formed at Clemson. They were all going to Clemson. They're from Clemson, South Carolina. And two brothers, the lead singer and lead guitarist, a bassist that was there, and then they picked up my son, who's the drummer, after he graduated from University of Alabama. They've, let's see, New Year's Eve, we were out there at the Whiskey Go-Go with LA Guns. They recently toured with the Lynch Mob with Jim Florentine and Don Jameson. And so we're just really excited about it. I kind of picked a power ballad because I'm a woman and I love that kind of stuff, but they've got some really high energy rock and roll as well on this album, Do or Die.
And how do you spell the name of the band?
Okay, it's Dazer, capital D as in dog, A as in apple, Z as in zebra, and R as in Raymond.
All right, and the track that Mita is suggesting is called I Can't Take It Anymore. Thank you, Mita. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Joel, roll it. Here's why I'm laughing. Because she mentioned that they were influenced by the 80s stuff like Skid Row. And as I'm listening to that and listening to that kid sing, I'm like, wonder if he sent his audition tape in yet to Skid Row, because he's got a kind of soaring voice there. That's that totally actually also reminded me vocally of Millie from Steelheart, like old Steelheart, I'll never let you go, that sort of vibe. And it's interesting, there's a lot of these young guys that are doing like an 80s throwback sort of sound. None of them have broken through yet. It just seems like the ones that do are always kind of more of a modern rock vibe, but who knows? I mean, I think it's great, but it seems like the industry is not outside of Europe. In Europe, you see they kind of gravitate towards that a little bit more, but certainly sounded like, new music cast in an old sort of way in terms of, influenced by some of the early 80s stuff. So, Joel, there's another example, though, where this is unavoidable to lay down any ground rules because her son is in the band. So, we're going to get that no matter what. That's still kind of an inside job, right?
Yeah, it is. But at least the music is on streaming services, so it's not like they're like handing out CDs new. So it's something, I guess.
Is there any vetting at all on the streaming services to get your music on there?
I don't know, to be honest. That seems like a question for somebody who's actually written music and put it on streaming.
Yeah, like is Spotify or Apple or Pandora or whatever, is it like in other words, if I made a song tomorrow, could I just go put it on there? Or does
I think
it have
so. I don't know how you do it, but I'm pretty sure you can, because I mean everybody seems to be uploading their music. I don't know if you have to pay a fee or something, or I don't know how the process works, but it seems like anybody can post it, but at least it's up there.
Yeah, I just I just wonder, like, can you just, if you can just do it, then anybody can put their, so there's literally, to my point about doing this, there's literally no gatekeeper, even for that. Anybody can put anything on YouTube, but like to put music out, there's literally no vetting. And again, that's not a good thing, because it just creates a bigger pool and people can't find anything that's good because they're weeding through 500 things that are bad. But I'm pretty sure you can get a service if you have a band, and for a fee, you could get them to get your music on streaming. So I was going to say we could use that criteria of saying, well, the band you're calling in has to be on, say, Spotify. But if anybody can get on there, that's no criteria either. That's one of the things I don't know, nothing you can really do about it, because you're going to have people calling in their own band. You're going to have people calling in their kids' bands. It is what it is. And again, I get it. Everybody's looking for that leg up. All right. So kind of a throwback vibe there on that one. Let's say hello to, we're going to go to Alex, who's in Mexico right now, joining us. Hey, Alex, go ahead.
Eddie. Hey, Eddie. Thanks for taking my call, man.
Sure.
So the band that I want to shout out today, it's called El Chivo. That's spelled ELCHIB as in Victor O. They're very big. They're not new. I mean, they're from 2018. They were formed in 2018. But they're getting some traction there. They're actually playing Wacken this summer, and they're also opening for Pentagram and Trouble in Monterey in September. And they have a very good. It's a doom metal meets Alice in Chains kind of vibe.
Oh yeah, I would think if they're opening for those bands, that sounds like that's kind of in that world. Do they sing in Spanish or in English?
It's all in English. Yeah. So
English.
The song that I want to shout out today, it's called Burn the Sky.
Burn the Sky. Okay, Alex, thank you for calling. Alex, it's amazing we have some listeners in Mexico, because we're technically not on there, but people get IP addresses. They listen on the app. Of course, Kraus is a regular in Mexico, so that's cool. Okay, let's hear a little bit of the band. Go ahead, Joel. Let's go to Joe in Oregon, who is next up. Hey, Joe, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Eddie, thanks for taking the call. I think I got a little out of the criteria as I was on hold and I was looking some stuff up. But the band is called the Virgin Marys, and Virgin Marys is one word.
Yep, I've heard of them. I know of them.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
which is fine. This is the first band that's come up in the show so far that I actually know and have heard of. But go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they actually had some stuff earlier, like 2012 and 2013. I got turned on to them about that time, now that I look back in time. So, but they're kind of in the vein of like a Royal Blood. They're from England. I think mostly they're a two-person outfit like Royal Blood. Kind of got that sound. The dude that's singing, I forget his name, man, just got one of those great scream vocals that he can do on occasion when he brings it out. And it's one of those bands where they've just got some apps. I don't use the term very often, but just bangers of songs. I mean, some of the songs on some of these albums over the years are just phenomenal. So I like them a lot. Like I said, I got turned on to them about 10-ish, 12-ish years ago. Really, really dig them. The song, I think I told them, was Bang, 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 Triple Bang. And it's actually from their 2013 album. So like I said, I'm a little out of the criteria there.
That's all right.
But they're still putting stuff out, and they're really, really good. So, people that hear it and dig it, I would say delve into it because they've got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, they've come up, I think, before. I've definitely heard of them, and I've heard some of their stuff, but we'll hear a little bit right now of the song you picked. Thank you, Joe. Again, the band is called The Virgin Marys, and the track is Bang Bang. On the air earlier, my friend Michael Iorato, who actually manages Hailstorm, among others, and is a listener of the show, said that anyone can put up a song on Spotify and the digital service providers, meaning the streaming outlets. There's a company, you pay $25 and boom, they put your music on Spotify. So again, there's literally no guardrails. So to say, the song's got to be on streaming, don't matter. And again, look, I think that's good. And it's also bad because honestly, there's some stuff that is not ready for radio or streaming or distribution. Again, I'm going to be nice here and just keep things moving and not give my personal critique off of these 30 seconds. But in the show we've done so far I've heard a good amount of things that are just not there yet by any stretch. So, but again, that's to my point. Don't matter. You can put it out. You can make a video. You can release it. You can put it on all the streaming outlets, and then that pool goes from one size to 10 times, 100 times the size, and that makes it harder. It's just, I talk about it all the time, man. It's the number one issue. All right, let's go to Cecilia. Am I saying that right? Is it Cecilia in Illinois?
Yes, in Chicago.
Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
All right, so I kind of want to give a shout out to this group called Kamenar. It's Kamenar. I have seen them a couple times, actually several times, as they come through Chicago. They've opened up for like Slash, Pop Evil, also Tom Hamilton, of Aerosmith, and they've also been with Alice Cooper. And what's awesome about this group is they're twin brothers, and that's it. And one plays the drum, the guitar, and they both sing. But I mean, when you first hear them, they sound like a band of 4 or 5 people. I mean, they're just absolutely powerful. I do know that they started in 2020 and actually just started touring like 4 years ago.
So what do they do when they play live? Do they have extra musicians? Have they played live?
Yes, they've played live before, actually just here recently when they were in Chicago. And it's just them.
So they're a 2-piece band?
Yep, twin brothers.
All right. The band is called Kamenar, and the track that you picked is called Now That We Know, correct?
Yes.
All right. We'll check them out right now. Here it is out of... well, you said they're from Chicago or no?
No, they're actually from Florida.
Florida. All right, well, check it out. Thank you, Cecilia. Appreciate it. Kamenar, let's hear it. Band is called Kamenar. That sounds good. I've said this before, and I'm just being honest. I feel that a band has to have a minimum of 3 members. The 2-piece bands, I know there's some of them out there. I know some have become obviously quite successful, obviously White Stripes and all that, but I just feel like it's more of a novelty thing when it's just 2 people. Like, look at me playing all these different parts. And the problem I have with it, to be honest with you, is in almost every instance where I've seen a lot of 2-piece bands, they're inevitably running a bunch of tracks. You know, oh, the bass is on a track, or this is on a track, or the keyboard's on a track. And you know how I feel about that? You know, most of them can't be truly live without using some sort of electronics or loops or programs or whatever. Why? Just get it, you know, to me, you got to have at least 3 people to do it live and to do it truly live. That's just my take. I stand behind that. I just feel that way. If any band I've seen, you know, oh yeah, well, we don't have a bass player. We're just, you know, we run the bass on it. What? I'm not saying that band does that. I don't have any idea, but I find that so much with 2-piece bands. I just don't get it. It just seems like you got to be at least a trio. Otherwise, you're just like, look, we can do everything with just 2 people. Well, no, you're really not if you're running tapes to supplement what you're doing. I've always just had that about 2-piece bands. Here's Chad in Ohio. Go ahead, Chad.
Hey, Eddie. How's it going, buddy?
Good. What's going on?
Hey, the band I want to talk about is called Warning Signs. They're out of the Springfield area. It's a 4-piece band. They're really heavy. Springfield's right next to Yellow Springs, which is where you were at a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually played that venue that you were at. They have a self-titled
The night I was
EP
there?
out. No. They played a couple years ago, but they the same venue.
Okay.
They have a self-titled EP on the Apple, Spotify. It's got 5 songs on it. Their debut album is written, and they're going to be recording it soon. They're going out for some shows here soon. They'll be in Cleveland, going to Chicago this summer. So the song I want to give you a little snippet of is called Hollow Eyes. So I hope you like it.
All right. The band, again, called Warning Signs. Go ahead, Joel. Let it roll.
I get confused, fighting for my life, losing control of everything in my sight. I can't return, I can't breathe. No, they heavy for vanishing my feet. Look around, I don't want you to see. You wanna close the inside and fuck away from me. One way or another, fighting up a conversation, having it down just to feel it. Coming places and laughing, and all the places can't get back into the find its own. I can't believe these lifeless allegations. Tell them what was eating like a parasite. I fucking hate those other ones.
Well, there's a lot going on there. There's all kinds of different vocal things going on, and interesting. Okay, thank you for that. Warning Signs, the name of the band. Let's go to California on this New Music Spotlight edition, a special edition of Trunk Nation. Here's Paul in California. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Eddie.
Paul.
Thanks for taking my call, Eddie.
Yep. Go ahead.
Hey, huge fan of what you do, and looking forward to seeing you hopefully this Sunday at the Ronnie James Dio event. Hopefully, get a chance to say hello to you.
I will be there for sure. I will be there for the entire afternoon, so I'll see you there.
Cool. Looking forward to it. And as much as I agree with your taste in music, I really quickly got to tell you how much I disagree with your taste in football teams as a lifelong Dallas Cowboys fan. So anyway, I had to squeeze that in there. Hey, Eddie, the band I wanted to shout out today is a band called Starbenders. They're from the Atlanta area, and the song is called The Game. I think they have a really cool kind of 70s glam, punk, almost rock sound to them that I think your audience will like a lot. So hopefully you dig it and the audience does too.
All right. I'll be sure to wear my Giants hat on Sunday, Paul, and I'll see you there at the Dio Cancer Fund event.
Yeah, look for the guy in the cowboy shirt. I'll come say hello to you.
Well, usually I have great disdain when I see people wearing cowboy stuff, but since you're a listener, I'll try to temper that. So thank you, Paul. We'll check it out. Starbenders.
Just audio.
That's a woman singer, right? It's a female vocalist?
I have to check.
I'm not sure if it sounds like it was a woman singer. I don't know if he said it was or not, but if not, it's a very high vocal. It sounded like it could have been a woman. And I'm asking because we've had so many women on this show today in terms of being in the bands or
looks
calling
like
in
it
or whatever.
is. Female. It's a woman named Kimmy Shelter.
Yep, it definitely sounded like a woman singing there. Okay. Thank you for that. And again, the Dio Cancer Fund event he mentioned is this Sunday, Autry Museum, Griffith Park in the LA area. And I hope to see you if you're in that part of the country. Come say hello. I'll be hosting it, as I do with all the DO Cancer Fund events, all the money going to the DO Cancer Fund. Couldn't do it last year because I had a conflict, so I'll be back for it, though, this year. Lita Ford is headlining, DO Disciples playing, All-Star Band playing, Zeppelin Tribute playing, so it's going to be a fun afternoon of music for a great cause. I think the music starts at 11 and it wraps up by 6, so it's a good day there. And come and hang out and buy a ticket and join us to raise money for the DO Cancer Fund if you're in the Southern California area this coming Sunday. Next up, we go to Florida. Here's Doug joining us right now. What's going on, Doug? Hey, Doug. Hello, Doug. Doug is not there. How about Matt in Missouri? Go ahead, Matt. What do you got?
Eddie, is that you?
Yep, it's me.
Oh, right, man. You're a great American. I hope you live forever.
Oh, thank you, Matt. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, that's coming from a mortician. The band I'm advocating for is called Torchlight Parade, and it is my band, and I'm the lead singer. I'm also an embalmer, mortician. My brother, he's the lead guitarist. He also works with me, drives the hearse. His son, my nephew, he's 17. He's in the band. The drummer is 18, and the other rhythm guitarist just turned 17. And we're on the Pavement Entertainment label, and we've opened up for Faster Pussycat, Stryper, Quiet Riot. But we're the only mortuary metal band around, Eddie, and I need you to know that. So,
well, Carla, do you know Carla Harvey, who is Charlie Benenti's wife, and we had her on for her new band, Violent Hour. She's a mortician too.
Is she?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, man.
Yes. Yep.
We do all our music, though, is written and based upon kind of the mortuary and embalming and Halloween. Right now, our album out is Children of the Night. And one of the songs is Frankenstein at Death. And we got Morticians Never Cry, Howlin' Wolf, I'm Not Dead Yet. Also, the keyboard player, Teddy Andradius, who was a keyboard player with Guns N' Roses.
Zigzag. Yeah, I know Teddy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on our album. He's a dear friend of ours. And anyway, he plays the keys throughout the album. And we have our fourth album coming out, but right now we're on our third album. And he's been on our second album, too. Never Laugh When a Hearse Rolls By was the name of our second album.
Is your band theatrical?
Yes, we're like an Alice Cooper band, and we come out with all the theatricals, Coffin, I come out of a coffin, and Frankenstein at Death, we have Frankenstein on stage, and Howlin' Wolf, we got a wolf man runs out. We do a couple covers, and we do Long Way to the Top by AC/DC, and we usually have 3 or 4 bagpipers that I got from the cemetery playing Amazing Grace. So we bring them up on stage in all their regalia and uniforms and kilts and that. And I wear a kilt from time to time.
All right, Matt, I'm going to stop. I got a ton of people here, so I'm going to stop you there. But we got the backstory, and we appreciate it. And we'll listen to a little of the track. The track is
Frankenstein at Death.
Frankenstein at Death. All right. Thank you, Matt. Again, the band is called Torchlight. There you go. Torchlight Parade here on this New Music Spotlight edition of Trunk Nation. We're going to do one more break here. And then we come back. We'll roll till the top of the hour, squeeze in as many more bands as we can as we continue spotlighting new music, as we do from time to time on this show. Our number, as usual, although the lines have been swamped because people are just obviously chomping at the bit to shout out a band here, 844-686-5863, as usual. And we'll take this quick break. We'll come back with more bands and more for you guys to hear and chew on and discuss right after this on Trunk Nation.
The rock destination.
Trunk Nation.
Tremendous. That's the only word I can use to describe it. Just tremendous.
Sirius XM. Faction Talk. This This is Trunk Nation.
Outtakes, live records, box sets, anything.
Conversation on all things rock.
Heavier live, but in a really, really good way.
And now, your host, Eddie Trunk.
An interesting vocal style.
Sirius XM, Faction Talk.
Not to go down a whole nother topic here, but you know how the other day I was talking about like clicking around through Netflix and stuff, and how like every other thing I'm seeing on the documentary is like true crime, which is like such a huge thing now, and it just really sits weird with me. I'm watching, I've got the TV on in the background here while I'm doing the show, and I'm looking at the screen, and locally here in Vegas at Caesars this weekend, there's something called the Crime Con, meaning like a crime convention. And it's showing like rooms of people clapping and like, what the fuck? Like what's going on here? Like these are like murder? Like I can't get my head around it at all. It's so weird to me. I know it's a huge category. I think there's a channel on Sirius XM dedicated to it. And I know it's framed as like, well, no, it's for helping to solve the crimes, but it still feels crazy, weird, and exploitive, and like almost promoting. I don't know. Like I'm watching, I wish, it's on right now. Crime Con. People waving flags and celebrating and having drinks, hear from the legends of crime, people dancing on stage. What the fuck? Yay, crime! People showing pictures of people that were murdered. This is sick. I'm sorry. It's sick. I understand the pitches. These are people that solve the crimes. But it's just, if you could see this commercial right now, and I'm watching it with the sound off, it looks like like they're having this huge celebration. Sorry. I get back to the calls, back to what we're doing today. New bands, new music. Gene in New York has been waiting for a while. Let's get to Gene. What do you got, Gene? Go ahead.
Hey Eddie, real quick, just wanted to shout out to the fans of Trunk Nation. I'm always on the page, and I've been running into health problems the last 4 months, but I'm sort of getting better, waiting on a bone marrow transplant. But so many people have reached out through that board. I just wanted to say thank you to, and even you have actually mentioned things on your show. So, certainly not out of the
Gene
woods,
Rogers,
but,
right?
Yes, yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
Gene. Well, yeah, man, get better, man. I'm sorry to hear what you're going through. We're all pulling for you, man. I hope you get better soon, man. Hang in there.
Yeah, appreciate that. So my band, and I'm hoping you actually heard of them because you're a big fan of their producer Tuck Smith, and the band is Rebels Opera, out of Nashville, real new, inside a year. They have like 4 singles out. Much more. From the bands that have been featured today, I think a bit more in your wheelhouse, certainly in my wheelhouse, sort of AC/DC vibes, 70s stuff. The song is Call of the Night, and they've got a bit of buzz. Tuck Smith is fantastic, and he obviously he's producing them now, so he has some real talent. The band has some talent behind them, but really love the guys. I love the style. So. Rebel.
Where are they out of, Gene?
Nashville.
Okay, well, that makes sense because Tuck's based in Nashville now, too.
Right.
So.
Yep, absolutely. So I wanted to shout them out, and hopefully some people. I think a lot of your listeners will like them. They fall into what we all kind of like. But some other good bands today. So happy to dig deep into what others have been talking about.
All right. Well, Gene, you take care of yourself, man. Get well, okay?
All right. Take care. Bye.
All right. There's Gene calling in for Rebels Opera. I am aware of this band. I don't know if it was Tuck that told me about him or whatever. It's interesting, Tuck, who of course is working his own career, is now producing and working with young bands as well. It's crazy because I'm such a big fan of Tuck's and been talking about him for a long time, and he would absolutely be on my list. I think he's within the 10-year criteria, at least as a solo artist. But him doing, and I've still never met him or seen him live, but that's going to change because I'll see him on the Mountain Music Festival coming up in Gatlinburg. So I'm looking forward to that. But cool that he's now also working with some young bands because he's got a lot of experience and talent as a writer as well. So let's hear a little bit of what Gene's pick is here. Again, the band is called Rebels Opera. But that certainly sounds very well produced and something that would fit in today's rock music landscape for sure. Dropout Kings, the name of that band. Previous band is more my personal taste, but looking at it from a sellable standpoint, that certainly does. And the thing with both of those last two bands are you can hear, look, I don't need to comment. You guys can hear easily the stuff that's better produced, the stuff that's more fully realized, better constructed, better written. Just you can just hear it. You can just hear stuff that's more, demo-y, more amateur-y in the writing and the performance and the singing, and then you can hear the stuff that really sounds like it would fit on today's radio or fit next to your AC/DC record or whatever. It's an obvious difference in the quality of some of this stuff. Again, I understand everybody's got their favorites and all of that, but when you're really looking at it objectively, there's stuff that definitely jumps out here in the time we spent doing this already, which is over an hour. We still have about 15 minutes more left to go, so we'll see what else we get to. Back to the top of our very busy phones. Roger in New York is next up. Go ahead, Roger.
How you doing?
Hey, Raj.
Hey, great interview with Andrew Freeman yesterday, by the way. It was awesome. That guy's killer.
Yeah, always good to talk to Andrew. He always just kind of says how he feels, which is good.
Yeah, he's the real deal. Hey, the band I'm talking about is called Smart Dope. They're between Uruguay and the United States.
Why is that? Do they have members in each place?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And the drummer is a famous touring drummer, but he uses an alter ego called Dark Side because of the subject matter of the music.
Okay, so who is he? Do you know who he is, or is it an anonymous thing?
I don't know who he is, but I've been told he's a famous touring drummer.
Okay, so are they hidden in any way, or they wear masks or anything, or?
He wears masks in the videos, yeah.
Okay, what's the subject matter?
It's social, political stuff.
Okay. How did you find out about him?
I saw him down in Uruguay when I was visiting my buddy down there. They played.
All right. Well, thanks, Roger. We'll check him out. The band is called Smart Dope. And, Roger, the track you want is Take the Implant, right?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Thank you, Roger. Let's check it out. Go ahead, Joel.
Hey, Eddie. You and I have something in common. We both love the Raspberries and Eric Carmen. I was lucky enough to see both of them, Raspberries when they were doing the Starting Over tour, and Eric Carmen during his first solo album. And the reason I'm calling is this band called the Lemon Twigs from Long Island, who are not my sons. I have no affiliation with them. Remind me of those two acts. Two brothers lead the group. Their dad was a musician, and the song I'm plugging is My Golden Years.
Did you didn't see the Raspberries when they came back in like 2003?
No, I missed that. Sorry.
Oh, that was good, man. They came back. I went to a couple of those shows. Those are the only times I saw them, but that's cool that you saw the original band on Starting Over, or that version.
Yes, I saw them at the Bottom Line, so I don't know where you saw them, but to see them in an intimate nightclub like that was just,
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't see him in the 70s. I was too young, but I did see the reunion, and I did some stuff with them, and One of the great honors was when Eric Carmen died, his wife gave me his gold record for Go All the Way, which is something I very, very much cherish. So that'll be discussed
Yes, I've heard
in my
you tell that story, and I also hope you do more shows like this.
All right, thank you, Stuart. Appreciate it. The band is called the Lemon Twigs, so it's sounding like it's the Raspberries because that is a total Raspberries-ish sort of melodies and layering of vocals and all of that, which, of course, the Raspberries were really heavily influenced by the Beach Boys. They were just an edgier, more guitar-driven version of the Beach Boys. Many feel the Raspberries were the ultimate power pop band, and I certainly do. But I didn't hear the guitar grit in that, but again, I'm hearing 30 seconds of one song. But the thing that made the Raspberries so special to so many is they had melodies like that, but it was against the backdrop of a lot of times, not all the time, a lot of times heavy distorted guitars. But that band called the Lemon Twigs, something totally different than some of the other stuff that we've heard. But we're getting a lot of variety here, which is cool. Next up is Jordan, who is in Illinois. Go ahead, Jordan.
Hey, Eddie, thank you so much for taking my call. The band I was going to mention is called McKenna, and I seen them for the first time actually opening for Ace Frehley at the Arcada Theater. And what was cool about them was they were a pretty heavy band, but they had a female-fronted vocalist that was like really melodic. You know, it didn't necessarily match the music, but it was really cool. And so met them after, they were hanging out after Ace and picked up their CD, and they got some great stuff.
All right. Again, the band is called McKenna, and they're from that area in Illinois?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And the track is called Love Remains. Be there for the first time ever, actually, on June 13th, hosting the UFO tribute Lights Out with Andy Parker of UFO playing drums. So heard a lot about that venue. I actually know the guy that owns it. I've not been there yet, so I'm looking forward to not only seeing the band and hosting that night, but also getting a chance to finally see that venue, which has done a lot of shows in that area of the country. So there's McKenna. You know, more than once, as you've heard today on this show, there have been people that called in and talked about the band's opening for certain bands. And as I said the other day, although that I get using it as a badge of accomplishment, the reality is, unfortunately, it's really not. Because on any given night, in any given club, any city in this country, there are 2 or 3 local bands opening for, he brought up Ace Frehley before, a couple times LA Guns came up. When these bands play clubs, in the case of Ace, when he played clubs, they do not bring opening acts with them. It's not a tour. They're flying in to do the date and they leave. So the local venues just put local bands on to open the show. So it's not like those bands are aligned with those artists in most cases. It's just the promoter puts on 3, 4 bands. Sometimes they make them sell tickets even to play the show. And a lot of times the headliner doesn't even know who the band is. So as much as that may be perceived or marketed as, look what we've done, it really in most cases means absolutely nothing, because it's just, I mean, like I said the other day, the Whiskey is a super prestigious, legendary venue in LA. But literally every night of the week, you go by there and there's 4 or 5 bands opening for a band. You know, the first band will start at 5:30 when the headliner's going on at 11. And, you know, there's any given night, there's anywhere from 2 to 6 bands opening. So it's not like you've passed some threshold to do this stuff, because it's extremely common. And unfortunately, in a lot of cases, the band has to actually sell tickets, meaning buying their way on to the show. Again, I'm just pulling back the curtain for you. That's just the way it is, and that's the reality of it. We had Rebels Opera already, right, Joel? Didn't we just have them from Gene?
Yeah, we did. So we can go on to the next one.
Yeah, so Andy in Maryland, we're skipping you. I'm going in order as the calls come in. Andy in Maryland, we are intentionally skipping you because just like 10 minutes ago, we just had Rebels Opera come in. So we don't want to do any repeats here. So we'll move on to Ron. A lot of calls from Illinois today. Go ahead, Ron. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going, Eddie? Super excited that I caught this topic. Last time I tried to call in for this topic, someone took my band, Return to Dust. But luckily, I've got a new one to share with you guys. Brand new this year out of Dallas, Texas. Former singer of Drowning Pool, Jason Moreno, is fronting a new band called Death Star Paparazzi. It's pretty awesome. They've only got like 3 or 4 singles out. It's if you're a fan of Drowning Pool, this is right up your alley. Real heavy, new metal, great stuff.
All right, Ron, let's hear it. Death Star Paparazzi, and the track is called The Antique Nerve. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
All right, thank you, Ron. Here it is. So he mentioned Return to Dust in his call as well, which is a band I've now seen live a couple times actually, and met and hung out with some of those guys actually at a Christmas party in LA actually in December, which also Slash's band, Slash's son London is in that band. So he mentioned them as some affiliation with the band he just heard, or that they opened for him or whatever. So, and they're out doing some shows opening, and it's definitely a band to keep an eye on as well as far as a younger up-and-coming band. Thank you for that. We continue with Trent. Who is it? Trent? Do we have that right?
Yeah, Trent.
Hey, Trent, Wisconsin. Go ahead, Trent.
Yeah, Eddie, I just wanted to say a week and a half ago, I was out at the Yungblud concert in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was there.
I'm one of these guys. My girlfriend talked me into going, and I've only listened to 80s music for the last 40 years. And, Eddie, I was blown away with that performance.
Yeah, well, I was there and in L.A. at the Greek and at a private show that you did on Saturday in L.A., and I talked a lot about it, and, of course, we had him on the show, and, yeah, I've said this week that can be the guy, that might be the guy that's going to bring our music back. It's whether you like him or not, you got to be rooting for him, and he's well on his way.
Eddie, you're 100% on. He has made me open my eyes now. I'm going to start listening to all this new music, and I never would have in a million years if it wasn't for going to that concert.
Yeah, so that's the act you're shouting out here?
That's right, yep.
All right, and you wanted to play Hello, Heaven, Hello, and thank you, Trent. We'll probably end on this, and Joel, you can just play that song going out of the show because by far, by a mile, everybody that was shouted out today in this show, Yungblud is way, 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 way beyond all of them in terms of popularity and accomplishment. It's not even close because he is now emerging as an arena artist in Europe and selling out anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 as we speak every night here in America. I've talked about it this week. We've had him on the show. It is amazing what's happening with this kid. I mean, he's 28, but still. And again, the biggest thing about it is crossing into all these different demographics. It is getting people who maybe wouldn't normally be at a rock show into rock. And he is an unbelievable performer. So this is the guy that I think, we got the best hope in a long time to help bring our world back a little bit into the mainstream. We'll see what happens and keep an eye on it. Hello, Heaven, Hello, the opening track on his new album, Idols, and he opens his shows with it. It's a 9-minute song. It's basically like a couple songs in one. So we'll roll out on that. Thank you for all the shout-outs, everybody, on all the bands. And we'll be back tomorrow for a Free-for-All Friday, getting started at 3 Eastern to wrap up the week.